Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Tabletop Trolls. Today I'm joined here by Colin.
Hello.
And Aaron, one of our players in one of our campaigns.
Hey, guys.
Today we're going to be kind of going over a little bit more with the characters, because we have Aaron here. We're going to be going and talking about Zephyr with him, and Antonio with Colin. And Aaron here has been building a Star Wars D&D campain.
Very exciting.
For a long time.
Yes.
Actually, this campaign, kind of, my first ideas were when we started playing Pathfinder, who probably...
Like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Long. So I started building a campaign before Rogue One came out.
Ooh.
So this original campaign was actually train wrecked by Rogue One because my idea was what Rogue One ended up being.
Yeah.
So sue for copyright or something.
That was my idea. It was in my Google Doc, and you stole it. No, fantastic movie though. I love that one.
Indeed.
Just like the Andor TV show. If you guys haven't seen it, it's fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah,
so that's not our sponsor.
Yeah, not our sponsor. Lucasfilms does not have anything to do with this.
Our actual sponsor is. We don't have one.
We don't have one. No,
it's
yeah.
Apparently, you have to have views for that or something like that.
Don't even know what that
is.
is.
Have some views.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Anyways,
so I'm going to jump right into Zephyr.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what made you want to play that kind of character?
just to clarify, because we have potentially viewers that don't know, that's two characters from the campaign we're currently playing in. It is DM'd by Tommy, and Aaron and I are both players. So Zephyr is his, and Antonio is my character.
In previous podcasts, we've called it the Witch Hunt campaign. That is the campaign that we are currently talking about.
Yeah.
So what drew you to making Zephyr? What piqued your interest about it?
So, I'm a religious person. Zephyr is a bard paladin. I had never played a bard, so it could kind of go into like that almost goofy side where you kind of are just like, oh, there's a battle going. I think I'll cast some spells that are... I'm a real like thunder and lightning kind of spell caster, and so is my twin Borealis. But then it could be like, let me pull out my violin and try to play a song for you real quick while we're fighting this monster.
Yes.
But the paladin side is kind of cool now because we're leveling up in that, where it's more the religious background of this character, and I completely created the deities and everything like that, kind of a custom thing with like, I think 6 or 7 deities in this.
I think you're up to 8 now.
8?
I think you're up to 8.
They're just finding their way in every single session. But hey, it works. But I've always kind of been drawn to that sort of character build. And I thought it would be really fun, especially with the tag team with Nick, who plays Borealis. Since we're twins, we kind of have where we are a buff when we're together. So we fight really well together. We kind of complement each other's styles. But when we are literally like apart, like say I'm walking through a doorway and then the door closes and he's on the other side, there's a debuff where we suck.
Yep.
Which is a very funny thing. We haven't really ran into it yet.
Keyword is yet.
Yet. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting because there's been a couple of battles where one of us has almost died. And so basically if one of us dies, the other one's going to suck forever.
Yeah.
Which will be kind of fun too.
You're a religious guy. Resurrect can happen.
Yeah, resurrect can happen.
You just have to be really good with religion.
Yeah. Hey, wow.
Hey.
There's only almost a reason for that. But it's also kind of a fun character. It was not a meme character, I should say, because the species is an Aarakocra. But it's a goose.
It's designed after a goose instead of an eagle or a hawk
or some bird of prey.
It's a goose.
Or predator raptor is what we would.
Yeah.
But it's a goose. So it's a fun character to play as. Probably one of my favorites.
Have you found in the campaign that your character is like ideal path that you go down is differing from the party at all? Because you're, religious goody two shoes, and then we have like Zeter and Antonio and
Zeter, Richard the Beast.
Yes.
How many multiple personalities does he have now?
I think we've seen 3. He has
a
4.
4th.
He's talked to me about having 4.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have Richard. He's like the mayor, the salesman kind of. Or
he's-
Zeter's the salesman,
Zeter's the cart salesman.
Then
who
you
sells
have the
bad
beast,
carts.
and then there's the one more that we haven't seen
We haven't
yet.
seen him yet,
Because
so we
Cole
don't.
wanted to multi-class. And once we get that multi-class, that's when we're going to start seeing him a little
So-
bit more.
To get back to your question, though, I think there could be a differing in paths. I know there's a couple of things that Tommy has planned for the religious characters of Borealis and Zephyr that we're going to see later. But I think there could be a differing in paths because we are like, hey, you know,
We should do good.
We should do good. And I know Richard, honestly, to be the governor of the island, we've kind of succeeded in that.
We have
succeeded
We've done
in that.
very well, which is not anywhere near where we thought the campaign would
Heck
be going.
no.
Yeah.
And
Makes 2 of us.
3.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. But it's one of those things where that one abandoned building in the main city where it's like, oh, we're going to turn that into a brothel. I'm like, how about we don't?
There's some people that wanted to turn it into a cookie factory. A couple people wanted to turn it into a brothel. A couple people wanted to just turn it into a house.
Yeah.
Or a different place of worship.
House or a place of worship. You know, this city doesn't have a place of worship yet.
I mean, it's a pirate city. It's literally a place. It used to be a place of stealing, debauchery, and a whole bunch of other things when it first started out. So.
I'm bringing the Lord. Bringing the Lord, or the Lords, I should say.
Yep. So what about you, Antonio?
Yeah. I don't know. This last session, Antonio kind of had a big revelation of like, oh wait, I also suck as a person because my whole plot has been revenge on a dragonborn who killed my family when I was younger, and I perchance killed a random dragonborn that had a family that didn't kill my family.
Her chance was it's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I kind of love how throughout that session, though, it was kind of like, holy crap, this is the guy.
Yeah.
This is literally the guy. And then we kind of went through Antonio's battle.
Yeah. Yep.
And then
And now he's kind
at
of
the
just
end, that dialogue was just like, oh crap.
yeah. He's kind of just like a broken shell of a goblin at this point. So he's going through inner turmoil.
Potentially, I think. I mean, you know, in our world here, we'd say Antonio needs Jesus, but maybe he needs some other religion.
And I mean, that could be a possibility because he has talked to you in character about like your religion. He has proclaimed himself an atheist, which is really funny when you're fighting alongside a paladin and like they're like smite and it's like the heavens open and he's like magic or whatever.
That's not good. God, are you kidding me?
What was the spell? So it wasn't a specific spell, but when I called upon the god of destruction, the god of war that I have, Batok. I can't remember what exactly. It was like a spire of flame or something like that came up.
So essentially what happened was there was a beam of light that came from the ceiling, and if you were to have left that beam of light, you would have taken a bunch of necrotic damage. But while you were in that beam of light, anything that came into it, you had advantage against, you had a power attack against, but it was such a small sphere that you couldn't move. So you had to really wait for stuff to come to you. And I honestly pulled that out of thin air,
which was fantastic.
Look, no notes here. I think that one was a really cool one.
Smoke and mirrors.
Maybe a couple of matches to throw out there, but
Antonio is not convinced.
I was not convinced. It's just like beam of light from the heavens.
Smoke and mirrors.
So that was a pretty cool part of that session, and then you continued to role play and cleanse that entire building and then turned it into a temple for him. And I thought that was a really good role play aspect of it.
Which we got to go back there.
Eventually, for sure.
Borealis and I have to go back there. We were called.
Called,
and Dream.
Dreams. I love the idea of having something visit players in dreams, because like when you're like, oh, it's just a long rest, it's like, it's kind of boring. But if you're like, oh no, you have a nightmare and this is what's happening, like that's pretty cool.
You're gonna have a lot of nightmares coming up.
That's unfortunate. I had a feeling that was coming.
Yeah, the PTSD for Antonio is gonna be coming out pretty hard.
You're gonna need Gloria to comfort you.
Yeah,
many times.
Yeah. Yep. See, I have ideas like that for my upcoming campaign. I know we briefly talked about a little bit of it on the side. I'm not going to spoil too much for you.
Please don't, because I'm a player and I'm very excited to learn.
But
on the job,
your sleeping time is not going to be very restful. We'll just say that much.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So that should be pretty fun.
Yeah, and I think that in upcoming sessions, I'm going to be, when you guys are just sitting there and you're traveling for a couple of days trying to cross the island, you don't really see a whole lot. But I really think that I'm going to have you guys keep out your passive perception, and I'm going to have stuff come out now.
Oh, okay.
I think the gauntlets can come off now. I mean, everyone here knows their character well enough.
I mean, I also think that if a character dies, I guess I'm pretty okay with it if my character dies. But also, like, I like the intensity of, I don't know if my character's making it out of this.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
And so that's how Nick felt the other day.
Oh my gosh.
And he was getting really worried.
Freaking out, dude. Because like I said earlier,
permanently
it's a permanent debuff if he dies.
What if you carry him with you at all times?
So
then are you just a normal bird?
I don't know, because obviously we have religious artifacts.
Right. So
like
if you,
maybe if I carry his religious artifact with me, I don't know.
You no longer get the buff, but you no longer get the debuff.
So it's just normal. Yeah. But like, I don't know, because obviously I'm not going to like cut off his bill and be like, I need to carry this with me.
Just the head.
Just the head on your That's an infection waiting to happen. I'm not a medic.
Oh boy. But like, I think everyone would be, I guess maybe a couple people would be a little sad if their character died. I might be a little sad, but also I like the feeling of fear of like, oh shoot, my character is gone. You know?
Yeah. And honestly, that would suck, because there's a really cool dynamic that our entire group has.
Right.
That I think it would lose something if anybody in the team.
Well, it would either lose something or bring up really good role play too.
It could, but it would suck. Like anybody that we have, like Richard Zeter, him,
the
Glob, Borealis, Zephyr,
Valita,
Shiv, Antonio. If any of them died, it would be like, dang it.
I mean, the player could make a new character.
They could, but it wouldn't feel the same.
Shiv Jr.
Wow. Yeah, honestly,
Antonio Jr.
Pulling from a different
from
campaign.
Gloria.
Yes. From a different campaign, if you guys don't mind me going on a slight tangent.
Go for it.
Because my second favorite character I ever made was this guy called Bjork Mammoth Crusher from one of Cole's campaigns when we played Pathfinder. And he was this, like, literally, if you're thinking of a Nord from Skyrim, that's what he was.
Okay.
He was this two-handed axe-wielding, just absolute barbarian, wore the fur armor and shit like that. I'm sorry, excuse me. Stuff. Excuse me, YouTube, sorry.
You didn't hear anything.
Yeah. And at the end of that campaign, because it was a one-off, everybody died at the end kind of thing, Bjork Mammoth Crusher had written a letter to his son, Arn, and Arn was going to take up his place, you know, and so that would be the character I would remake.
If I'm not mistaken, I remember you guys having that in the basement of the folks' house, and most of you were like getting pretty.
Oh yeah.
One of the individuals getting fairly salty. That was like, "This isn't how this is supposed to go," and Cole is just like, "This is exactly how this was supposed to go."
Yeah, because at first we were kicking butt. Like the final battle is just like, "Come on, Cole, is this all you have?" And he's like, "No," and we're like, "Oh
no!"
And then we died, and the other two characters were not pleased. actively upset. I was like, I went down in a blaze of glory, and that was beautiful.
That's exactly
Right.
how you wanted to go.
And the other two were like, but we should have beaten these guys. That's not even fun. Like, I was fine.
Yeah.
Like, at first I'm like, oh, that kind of stinks. I want to continue with this character, but then it was like, oh,
He had a good ending.
he had a good ending.
Yeah.
I think it really depends on how much roleplay you guys have done, how much you guys have actually like
And since it was a
gotten
one-off,
with it. Yeah.
there wasn't enough to do, and we created these pretty neat characters that we were like really excited to do, and then it turned out to be a one-off. We're like, dang.
You can always, like in that scenario, if you really like those characters, you can bring them to other.
You can bring them to other
Yeah,
campaigns.
exactly.
It was like another Cole's last Pathfinder campaign that we did. I made the character who always wanted to be a smith. That was another really fun character that I played, and of course he came from his dad's workshop, who was a smith but made plow tools, and he didn't make weapons. So I knew what I was doing, but I wasn't making weapons. Cole's storytelling is beyond what I could even imagine. He just says he sucks at putting it on, playing it out.
Awful.
Because you, sadly, but you've heard what his plans were for all the characters. It was insane.
He has such a creativity for a DM that if he was sitting there vocalizing that his plans and having someone there to write it down, it might be the best D&D campaign you will ever see in your life.
Because the way that my character was growing in that was, he was just this lowly, basically peasant from this little town who decided to go out adventuring. He wanted to make swords and axes for kings, for armies. And he was going to become a king regent himself at the end of the campaign. Somehow, Cole was going to manufacture... Yeah, I know we're
you're good. You're good.
But Cole was going to manufacture a plot where I had the chance to not fall in love with a princess. And it was going to be roll for this, and if you don't roll a 15, you're falling in love with this princess. So it's basically a 1 out of 20 chance to not. And then I was going to eventually become the king regent of this whole area, and I was like, that's kind of incredible. Yeah. And that was going to happen with every character, where we started out with just this you're an apprentice for an alchemy person, and then you were going to be the court wizard somewhere. You were going to be and it was incredible. The way this was going to end. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the end of the campaign, but it was really cool. But anyway, back on track, because that was a tangent.
But it was a beautiful tangent.
It was beautiful.
That's all our podcasts are. They're not actually specific. It's just here, let's ramble for an hour.
Well, yeah. Hey, I mean, it's fun to listen to. I've listened to the first 2 episodes, so.
Yeah, because I sit there and force you to it.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Shout out to Aaron. He's sitting right here.
I'll be here all night.
I really think that Cole, he is such the creative mind, and I'm going to get a little bit off topic here from the D&D, because it's something that is a testament to him. When we were playing Minecraft as kids, myself and Cole, we had a creative world, and we built kingdoms.
Oh, yeah.
Full-on massive castles, dukes, lords, all of it. We lost it all.
Yes, I remember, because I remember when you guys still lived at obviously lived at your folks' house and everything, and you guys allowed me to build a little, not a kingdom, but
it was a dukeship or a lord under another one.
But I built a mini Parthenon on their on their world, and it was pretty cool. But unfortunately, it was lost. But you can kind of see that with what he's doing with his castle sets for his Legos, which is dope as all heck.
The creativity that comes out of that guy, as long as he can get down on paper, he can.
It's fantastic.
That's a great campaign, right there.
But
So speaking of campaigns, I wanted to get into your Star Wars campaign a little bit.
Of course. Yes. So what questions do you guys have about that? Because I've got my notes.
That's a great question, because I don't even have a character idea yet.
Right, yeah. And so we were supposed to do our session 0 last Sunday, but we were running out of time. Nick had to leave, and so we weren't able to get to that. But I mean, I can go over basically the start. I don't want to go over the first session, obviously, because you guys are both players, so I don't want to do spoilers.
Yeah, it's kind of the curse of like, oh, I really want to play with these people and do a podcast. Oh, I don't want to tell you what the campaign is.
But so spoiler warning for anybody who's listening, who's going to be playing. That would be Cole and Bedford can listen to this episode. Nick, who also better listen to this episode. And then I believe Megan and Kristen were going to be in it.
I think Kristen is for sure.
Kristen's
Can't
for
really
sure.
speak on Megan.
Megan's a maybe, I've heard. If she kind of wants to be one-off characters, that's cool too, because I can write those pretty easily. But yeah, so this is a Star Wars campaign that's kind of set right before the rebellion. Like I said earlier, Rogue One derailed my original idea. So we have events that are occurring here that actually happened in canon, but you guys are kind of being inserted.
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 Yes.
And there are things that aren't going to be, because one of the things I like is, obviously important events are important within Star Wars. What about the less important events? The things that actually get the rebellion started, that get the Empire to notice them, and that's kind of what happened in the
kind of
Andor
like
series.
the Andor series and the Rebels series.
Rebels series as well, where they were in events that basically had the dominoes that fell to the destruction of the first Death Star.
Yeah.
But aren't really I shouldn't say not active, because you guys are active participants, but
not a big movie,
but not a big movie role. You guys
Yeah.
are kind of in the background, which is kind of
you
like
might
that.
show up like the ghost in the background,
Right, of course. Which is, I don't think it's an unfortunate thing, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, you're going to probably have to have Star Wars characters that are already appearing, and it's like, yeah, you guys will run into different leaders of the rebellion, different leaders of the Empire. Like, you guys will run
pretty
into...
cool to die to Darth Vader.
If we die at Darth Vader, then
we made it.
That is how I want to go.
We made it, boys.
But, so your guys' starting planet, which is not changing. You guys are going to be starting on the planet of Ord Mantell. Now, that is like a mid-rim planet. It's pretty close to Coruscant. And you guys are going to be originally working with... now, there's a lot of crime syndicates. You guys are going to be working with the Black Sun.
it's a good one. One of my favorites, actually.
It's a good one, yeah. So there's going to be some twists and turns in the first session. Things that you guys aren't going to see coming.
Love those.
Well, one of the things that I have to preface, because we have a couple of players who are very into Star Wars lore and what happens, and they're going to probably sniff some things out pretty quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to want you guys to somehow play with a mind that doesn't have all the Star Wars knowledge.
Your player character and you separate.
Kind of like a severance situation, except for that's creepy to think about.
Yeah.
So player knowledge versus your character.
Like meta knowledge versus character knowledge is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because in this first campaign, it's or first session, I should say, it's going to be pretty. I don't think it's going to be pretty obvious when you get there. But once I read the description of said planet or place that you guys might be discovering, one of you guys is going to do that Leonardo DiCaprio meme of the whistle, like the snapping whistle. So yeah, that's really what I'm hoping. And obviously, like we're gonna have like Kristen, who has watched the shows, watched the movies and things like that, but doesn't have some of that knowledge. And so that's going to be exciting to see. But
and I don't think Megan has watched.
Megan's watched the movies.
Yeah,
she knows about the movies.
Yeah.
So
I've watched all the movies. I've watched some of the side shows.
Mm-hmm.
I never dove super deep into like some of the lore,
Right.
so I might get caught off guard.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, you were also kind of building this campaign very similar to like how Detroit Become Human was kind of running, where like different of our decisions would make
decisions matter.
Yes.
In this campaign.
I think that's like a fundamental thing in like all campaigns,
Yeah.
really, because like
yeah.
if your characters do something but they always end up at the same spot, what's the fun in that?
Exactly.
And so I'm kind of running this also with a karma system. So obviously, like you said, you guys are working with the Black Sun Syndicate, the crime syndicate.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys happen to go and work with the Hutts and then you're just like backstabbing them, if you go into Hutt territory or Hutt space, you will be hunted.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it won't just be like, I don't like to say, it won't be like a video game where it's like, oh, I hate you, and then you go back to them and they're just like, I hate you, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
Exactly.
Like, if you wrong, like, obviously, if you wrong the rebellion, if you wrong the Empire, and they see you, they're going to be like,
Yeah.
get them.
Get him. Yeah.
Get them.
Like, you're now.
Yeah.
Ours.
You might be a past tense.
Hey, that's the ship that attacked us earlier.
Yeah.
Let's blow them up.
Get him.
And that's get them. And that's another one of the things where there are things. So it's kind of like reminds you of like a GTA, not a GTA kind of thing. It's like what video games were like, oh, you know what, you can disguise your ship. It's like, oh, hey, you know what, they saw this ship do this crime or do this thing.
Right.
Let's paint it.
Let's get a new paint job.
Let's get a new paint job. Let's change out the ship. You know,
Yeah.
Your ships are going to kind of have heat levels.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah, I do like that.
Instead of saying roll for initiative, can you just say, I've got a bad feeling about this?
obviously
Trademark.
that quote is going to find its way. It is literally.
I've got a bad feeling
It's
about
in
this.
it's in the first session.
Nice.
Yeah. So the first city that you guys are in is the capital of Ord Mantell. It's Whirlport. It's a really hard to say.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like I want you guys to all start there, but it's more of like I hate the starts, and I think Tommy agrees with me on this, where it's just like, you guys are in a bar.
Yeah.
Meet.
In a tavern. And you
In a
just
tavern.
meet. Yeah.
So I kind of am going to play this a little different than that. So I almost want you guys to start out on your own planets, where you guys actually are living.
Yeah.
And it's like you get contacted by such and such dude to come here, to go there. How you get there? I don't know. You can beam me up, Scotty. Sorry, that's Star Trek.
I know I talked to Colin about our characters previously, and that I was a bounty hunter previously, and I had my own ship, and customized ship. Yep.
You're still having your customized ship.
Still
because
having
I really like the customized U-wing.
Yep. So it's going to be modified U-wing to have a little bit more cargo space, because the U-wings canonly only fit 10 people.
Yes.
So I was like, well, that works perfectly for like if we're in a big ship and then we need to drop down to a planet, and it can still go inner system.
Well, because Cole's character was going to be our main pilot, who has his ship, the Black Glass, which is a modified, if you don't know, Colin, it's a modified Republic cruiser or frigate. Excuse me.
It's the red one.
Yeah.
With the 3 engines out
back. So it's modified to have a bigger, dock. Hangar space. So basically, if you guys have your own ships, they can fit within.
Yeah. And I had to preface this because I really like this character idea for that campaign. Being an astromech bounty hunter absolutely piqued my interest.
Because it's the kind of thing where, hey, your character gets blown to smithereens. You're a droid. You can be put back together. Rebuild him. Yeah. He's fine. You know?
It was kind of like a mix between Chopper and like a handful of other things.
You mean War Crimes?
War Crimes, yes. Chopper, R2, and like a whole bunch of different ones that I was taking inspiration from. And I talked to Colin. I was like, yo, you could be on my ship too, another bounty hunter. We could communicate, and then we would have to have someone else to communicate with us because they can't speak.
Yeah, it sounds like a really fun idea. It's gonna be so bad. So bad.
I can't wait for the roleplay aspect, because I'm not gonna be a nice DM. I'm not gonna translate this for you guys.
You can't talk to him. Why not? Because you don't speak the same language.
Do you speak astromech? No.
So it was really funny because I think you wanted to be like a Wookiee or something. So I could understand you, and then I would have to talk to someone else
who understood or the binary language of astromechs.
Yes.
But unless you don't understand Wookiee or Galactic Basic. Yeah, and it would be kind of a cool dynamic because I don't know if you would understand Galactic Basic even, or if you would just understand what Tommy's character was saying.
I'd assume that I would understand Galactic Basic.
Yeah, because you're a droid.
Yeah.
Unless you needed a protocol friend who knew 6 billion forms of communication.
Exactly.
Was it 6 billion or 6 trillion forms?
I think it was 6 billion.
Billion? Yeah. C-3PO shout out.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the other characters, like I know Nick's character was going to also be a Duros before you wanted to make the switch to an astromech, which I love that idea. I really do. Which it was going to be a fun dynamic because it's like 2 Duros who are kind of pilots, bounty hunter, smuggler kind of things, and it's like they could have had bounties on each other at one point.
Exactly.
And then Cole's character, I don't know if he's going to change it. Obviously, we haven't done a session 0, but our original characters that you guys had made, he was going to be a Kodru G, which is like this 4-armed beast.
Yeah.
He was going to be a really good pilot. Han Solo type anybody, but and yeah, his Republic frigate modified was going to be, the way he described it first was really funny. It was basically a project car.
Yep.
Nice.
So it's got it where it counts, but it doesn't look pretty, but it's got it where it counts.
It moves.
Yeah. More of that Han Solo type Millennium Falcon. My favorite thing about this campaign so far is just the things that you guys are going to have to make decisions about. So there are parts where there can be combat situations, but if you stay in them, you will die.
I like it.
Yeah. There will be no getting out. There will be times where you're like, oh, we're in space. There's a Star Destroyer.
Oh, no.
Oh,
we're in a frigate.
No, you're not in a frigate at that point, though.
Oh,
You're in a small ship.
No.
So, and I'll tell you the first ship that you guys are going to be in, it's a YT-1100
Oh,
freighter.
yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. Called the Fair Lady. But the YT-1100 freighter is not the Millennium Falcon because that's a YT-1300 freighter.
I feel like we should have pictures of these.
Yeah,
you can. I can send pictures.
I don't have them now, so
But-
we don't get them.
We could edit them in.
Yeah, and I can send you guys the
Who
pictures.
does editing?
Yeah.
I could edit them in.
But aren't we gonna post this like we normally do?
I suppose.
You Google it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
YT-11.
Yeah, YT-1100 freighter. It's basically the Millennium Falcon, except for the cockpit is in the middle of the 2 wings. So yeah, you guys get to start with those, with that freighter, and so that's going to be interesting because, you might run into a Star Destroyer, and if you don't leave,
it'd be pretty funny if we're like, all right, so excited for this new campaign, and we all chose and died.
Well, and that's why I'm going to be nice in that way, because I'm going to be
I
like,
can be revived.
Not when you're floating through space.
There's scrappers.
It's the K2SO quote from Rogue One. Not me. I can survive in space. But so yeah, and I'm going to be nice in that realm because it's going to be so early in the campaign where it's like, do you guys want to rethink your decision here? And it's like, okay, yes, cool.
So if we all
now a Star Destroyer shows up. What do you do? Oh, we leave now.
Run away.
Let's turn around.
I do think that a lot more D&D campaigns should have that either you dip or die, because I don't think a lot of players realize that you can run.
Yeah, you can absolutely run. Not all combat situations have to be, we gotta fight this guy.
You don't always win.
You don't always win, and that's what I want to really nail down with this campaign.
Even when you lose, you don't always come back.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, which, unfortunately, Tommy, yes, you can be rebuilt, but if your parts are destroyed...
Exactly. If my memory circuits...
You're done for.
Yeah.
Like, you can be rebuilt as a different droid.
Yeah.
But
you live on in another droid.
Yes, in another droid.
What are these arms?
Why am I a protocol droid?
Why can I not? I feel so stiff.
I must need maintenance.
I must take an oil bath real quick.
Gosh.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to end up bringing that up to my campaign just so people have a little bit more practice with that.
Yeah.
Because I think that when you figure out that you need to run, sometimes you can't run.
Yeah, sometimes you're stuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which-
Sometimes you overestimate your ability and underestimate the enemy,
Which-
and then 2 of your teammates are dead, and you're like, "Oh no!"
Oh crap! Yeah, and there are a couple of situations where whoever's piloting the ship, I'm guessing it's going to be Cole's character, is going to have to roll to avoid damage.
Yeah.
Like when you guys run, obviously it would present an attack of opportunity
Right.
on your ship. So he's going to have to roll as like a saving throw to avoid damage, and if he doesn't avoid that damage, there's going to be another section of a story that you guys are going to encounter. So basically, you can skip parts of the campaign or the sessions if you roll well enough. Or if you don't roll well enough, you will also miss that part of the campaign.
The section of that campaign is just
Yeah.
us rebuilding the ship.
Honestly,
Shopping episode.
shopping. No,
We need
honestly,
parts.
the part that you guys would encounter if Cole doesn't roll well enough or does roll well enough is kind of a cool part. So I kind of hope.
Kind of hope he fails.
I hope he fails in the save.
Make it a little bit harder.
It is a little bit harder to roll.
I've definitely planned some of those for campaigns I've run, and then they pass it, and I'm like, oh man.
Oh man, and they're like, you didn't pass. I rolled a nat 20. I don't care.
You needed a 30
bad.
to
Yeah,
pass.
you needed the 30. What was your roll save on that Constitution? +9? You needed 30. Lol. But yeah, so, I mean, I don't know if you guys had any other questions. Like,
I do with the character creation portion
Yeah.
of this, because we talked about it in the last podcast. When people are starting their character creation, there's 3 different forms that you can get for your
Traditional
scores.
forms.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can get your standard array, which is just a handful of different numbers that you
Yep.
plug in. There's the point buy where you all
Right.
start at 8 and then you up them to you get 27 points to up where you want them, and then you have the rolling. So what would you prefer for your campaign?
rolling.
So
was
What
much-
kind of
What
roll?
kind of rolling? Are you talking the 4d6 rolling where it's the actual like book, or are you talking my rolling which is 5d6?
I personally like the really chaotic one of 1d20.
So I wouldn't be that chaotic because with the stat blocks that I have, which shout out to the program I was using, which now I can't remember it. It was like something D20 that I was using to do the Star Wars.
Roll20?
Here, let's see. It's Star Wars 5e.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, the website is literally Star Wars or SW5e.com.
Okay.
They have some amazing stat blocks on their ships, and leveling those up to basically combat like people and ships to combat like how well you guys roll. It's going to be quite easy.
Okay.
They also have a Discord, really awesome. They respond to questions almost immediately.
Cool.
Because I know I had questions, and they're like, I typed the question in, and they got right back. I'm like, oh, sweet, cool,
Nice.
thank you.
Sick.
This is very convenient.
Yes.
Yippee!
But it's different, obviously, since they have this whole website. They have their own rules. They have their own classes. They have races, and all races have racial bonuses. Even astromechs have racial bonuses.
Yes, they do.
Mostly in intelligence, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense. Checks
But
out.
yeah, so it's going to be kind of fun, but I do think I want to go with your route. But if it comes to the fact where people are like, oh yeah, I basically have the strength of a level 7 character at level 1, I'm going to be like, all right, let's go back here.
Let's go back a
Roll
little
back here. Let's do 4d6 instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some of the characters that I've seen be made, not only in the Witch Hunt campaign, but in Matt's current campaign, the Dragonlight campaign, Kristen rolled absolutely astronomically. Like, has multiple over 20s because I don't cap them.
Right.
And then there's one character who just has, like, their highest is 16. Like,
Yeah.
bottom
It's
of
just
the barrel has all these
absolute
worst stats.
sucked.
Yeah.
So it really hurts, but at the same time, it works pretty well when you do work pretty
And it's
well.
and it's all in it. I believe this is just my opinion on it. I feel like it fits D&D so well because it is the luck of the roll.
Yeah,
And that is
yeah.
all D&D. It's the luck
Yeah.
of the roll.
I think a lot of
you
it-
could. Sorry to
No,
interrupt.
you're good.
You could be the the crappiest character, but then throughout the entire campaign you are rolling like nat 20 after nat 20, and you're just like the most powerful crappy character in the world.
Yeah. I think it also comes down to a lot of role play too. Like,
exactly.
My character, he's not great, but he's doing his best.
He's doing his best.
Right. So it really depends on also what kind of character you want to play. Obviously, if you're not going to have fun with bad rolls, ask your DM if you can re-roll some of your stats. It's not that big of a
it's not
deal.
the end of the world.
Right.
And having fun with bad rolls is a really fun thing, especially if you
Yes.
have a creative DM.
Yes.
Thanks, Tommy. Because you roll a nat 1 and you're swinging your sword, and it's like your sword gets impaled in a log and you can't pull it out.
Yeah.
You swung so hard.
You missed so
bad that you hit a tree, and you're just like, you have to take 2 more turns now to try and get your dang sword out.
That last combat where I had you guys facing the awakened trees and the awakened shrubs, no one rolled a nat 1 with a melee weapon. I think she had used her crossbow when she rolled her nat 1. And I'm sitting here like, well, that's dumb. I was hoping someone's sword would get stuck in a tree so I could do exactly that.
Yeah, where you're just like your foot is on the tree. I can almost imagine your foot is on the tree trying to pull the sword out like it's man.
If you get really creative, if they roll 2 nat 1s back to back, you have them break their weapon.
Oh yeah,
and then you're like, I need to get a new weapon now. Like that's a real thing that happens. Your weapons break,
And that's another thing, you guys. And I know my disliking for episode 8 happens. You guys are gonna have to make sure your ships are well maintained. It's like owning a car.
If your ships are back to repair.
If your ships are not clean, if they're not well maintained, Tommy could take his U-wing in and wow.
How did this land here in this shape?
How did this land here? You just scratch your head. It's like, this doesn't have any landing gear.
I'm a really good pilot.
Don't worry about it.
You're missing 90% of your ship.
Yeah, it's fine.
You don't have engines.
Yeah. So what I'm very excited about in this campaign as well is Kristen's idea for her character. Being like not a banished. I don't think it was banished. I think it was like runaway witch of Dathomir.
Yes, she wanted to,
or survived.
A survivor of Dathomir.
Because the massacre on Dathomir happened already at this point.
Yes,
in the canon
twice.
Twice.
Ooh. One in the Clone Wars by Grievous and the droids, and then another time after that.
Which that was Darth Vader, was it not? Or am I completely off on that? You know the lore better than me.
No, I think it might have been. Because that was the same time that the Purge of Mandalore also happened. They happened very close together.
But and I'm excited about that because none of our characters were going to have force powers at first, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that because I'm getting sick of the Disney. Oh, I survived Order 66, and now it's like 300 Jedi were alive. It's like,
you guys sucked at killing Jedi.
It's like how did Order 66 was a failure?
Yeah.
But so bringing this in, because she's not really a force wielding character. She's more of a. I mean, the Witches of Dathomir had the Force, but it was like magic.
Mm-hmm. And I know she didn't want to have I know she wanted to have some magic, but I believe you guys had talked that she was going to have to really work at getting back to it because
she was a runaway.
Yeah.
She was a survivor of this, and it's like, I haven't used my magic in years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you guys had any other questions about it. I don't want to divulge too much of the story because obviously
we're also getting to our time limit here.
Yeah.
Oh, shite.
I think another thing that I'd like to bring up for future video ideas is when we start making more of our characters and stuff for the upcoming series, we are going to sit down with the person that is making that character, and they're going to tell us the background, all of the stats, and that's going to be like little shorts for the channel too.
I could have told you guys some of the backstory for Zephyr.
He
was an acolyte. That's it. He was an acolyte. He served at his church with his brother and his parents, actually. So
Well, we appreciate all of you making it to this point again, and I really appreciate Aaron coming in and talking with us. And
great time.
I appreciate the
different
shout outs in the past
platforms.
2 episodes.
And many more to come.
Every episode, she's gonna get a shout out.
I'll be your guys' sponsor. No money, but sponsor.
Well, it's good enough.
He just walks around telling people, "Hey, you should watch this video."
Yeah, I sent it to Cole. I sent a link to Cole to watch the second
good.
episode.
Good.
Yeah,
He's my own brother and doesn't watch my podcast.
Darn
whatever.
brothers. What the heck?
What are you
Well,
gonna do?
I mean, hey, thanks for having me on the show. It's
Yeah.
a fun time.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, all of you trolls, we'll catch you in the next one.
Yep.